8 minutes. That's how long I'm going to be talking, about 8 minutes. This timer doesn't seem very meaningful to a lot of people, but it's one of the most powerful ways to keep someone's attention. I want you to think about a situation, maybe the last time you were watching a movie. Do you remember a scene where it was like a tense scene, and in the scene there was a bomb? And the main character had to defuse the bomb before the 8 minutes. And if not, boom, everybody dies. Or maybe it was something simpler. Maybe you were watching on YouTube, and it was a bunch of contestants. They had to stack some blocks on top of each other. And if they complete the challenge before the timer runs out, they win a grand prize. Maybe $1 million. Whatever situation you're thinking of, the timer played such a crucial role in its ability to keep your attention. And that's what I want to talk about for only 8 minutes. Actually, it's only 6 minutes and 50 seconds now. I want to talk about that it doesn't really matter so much what you're showing, what you're saying, but it really is about how you're saying it. My name is Mario, and I'm a strategist who works with some of the biggest creators on YouTube. Some of them, you may know, they have over hundreds of millions of views per video. Now, one of the things they have to get really good at is keeping your attention. So I help them with this, and we try to figure out exactly what it is that keeps attention for longer. The timer is, I'm going to talk about this soon, but it's one of those things that really does well. Now, why is it so important for them to keep your attention? Well, we live in an attention economy. I know this is a buzzword and you've heard of it before, but it is true. Every platform out there seeks your attention. If you think YouTube, if you think Instagram, any of the other platforms, they require you to watch for longer. And it's a good thing, because if these platforms are able to keep somebody longer, they're able to serve more ads, make more money, or it's also an indicator that your content is really good. See, if somebody watches for 10 minutes versus 20 minutes, well, the 10 minutes probably didn't enjoy it as much. But the platforms help these creators. We get some data called a retention chart, which shows us exactly, and I know it might sound creepy, I promise it isn't, it shows exactly when you lose interest and when you keep on watching. So what we see while you're watching videos, I know I sound like some spy, but I promise it's not. Whenever you lose interest, the retention chart goes down. Whenever you stay engaged, we see that you do not tune out. Now, we use this piece of data to learn about your attention and learn about what it takes to keep your attention. And this brings me back to my timer. You see, so far, this timer hasn't had much meaning yet. It's more of a visual stimulant. As I'm standing here, maybe you're like, he's not doing too much, I need some visual stimulants, and you look at the timer, and you're like, hey, that's interesting. And the moment you get bored of the timer, you get back to me. Or you've been using it for a sense of control. Maybe you're looking forward to when the talk ends. I don't know. Well, the timer gives you that sense of control. You're able to grasp where we are. We started 8 minutes. We're already halfway through. But the timer hasn't done too much just yet. You see, on YouTube, you don't want somebody to look forward to when it ends. You want somebody to stay engaged. So I'm going to introduce something new, and we're going to change the meaning of this timer. I'm going to introduce you to the box. It's not mysterious, it's just a box. You see, so far this timer, you've used it to look forward, or maybe, hopefully not, to the end. I'm going to introduce something new. I brought a box today, and I'm going to promise you, I'm going to show you, and I'm going to give you something inside this box. Now, this box now changed the meaning of this timer, because you now might start looking forward to something else, a promise I made. Now, I'll tell you a little about what's inside the box. It's something that you and I value. It's something really good. I like it a lot, particularly me. I like it a lot. But you don't know yet what's inside the box. So I'm trying to excite you a little bit, and now you start looking forward. And in 3 minutes, I'm going to know what's inside the box. You see, here's what we learned. Every time we introduce a timer, we introduce a promise, we notice that people are more likely to stay engaged. When we introduce a box, you're more likely to stay engaged. And this is because of something called dopamine. It's a chemical in the brain, and many people think you get it because I give you the box. But what we learned is that dopamine doesn't trigger when I give you the reward, but in anticipation of the reward. That's what it's all about. But so far, maybe you actually don't care about what's inside the box. Well, so let's change the meaning of the timer once again. I'm going to say something else. I took that example of the bomb earlier. Well, maybe inside the box, I put a bomb. I'm getting nervous because of the box. Now, I know you might be thinking, hey, let me hear the ticking of the sound. Well, it's a silent bomb. It could be. And right when that hits 0, that bomb is going to go off. And like in the movies, you're all going to die. It's possible, Now, what I've done is, again, I've changed the meaning of the timer. We have a timer. There's not much time left. And there's a negative consequence. Now, this by itself triggers another chemical in your brain. And that's called noradrenaline. That's exactly a chemical that gets triggered when you feel in danger. Now, I know most of you know I'm not going to put a box, but I know there might be one or two who's like, hey, maybe he does put a box in there. I'd be a terrible terrorist. But here's the thing. I promise you there's not a bomb in the box. But by the end of the timer, and this is why I have this timer here, I'm just using this to demonstrate a point. Because at the end of the day, it really isn't about what's inside the box. Because it's about introducing a promise. It's about creating a setting that forces people to pay more attention. I could have had that timer up and just keep it visually stimulating. But that didn't matter. Also, again, it's not about constantly delivering something good. I'm not trying to trigger your dopamine all the time. This is not a short where you swipe until you get excited. It's about keeping you engaged. And as long as you believe that what's inside the box is exciting enough, I'm able to keep your attention. So we live in this attention economy. And the one lesson I want you to take away, it's a very simple lesson. It's not so much about what you say. It's all about how you say it. Now, we have 7 seconds. There's no explosion. But I will show you what's inside this box. Like I said, it's something very valuable, something you and I care about. And in reality, there's nothing inside the box. No bomb, don't worry. You can calm down now. But what's really been inside the box all along was just one simple thing. It's been your attention. Because that's the only thing that the box represents. Thank you very much.